Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of the podcast. My name's Paul Thompson. I'm on the growth team here at Letterdrop. Today we are joined by the one and only Ruth Favela, AI marketing manager at Tomorrow.io. The whole genesis of this came from that title for me, the AI marketing manager. Ruth, honestly, you've got my dream job. Tell me what is an AI marketing manager?
An AI marketing manager is a Swiss Army knife, truthfully. In my role, I work cross-functionally with every function of marketing, but also with every department across the organization. So I'm not only supporting the marketing team with AI processes and like finding ways to integrate new AI tools into our current workflows. I'm also the person who is learning about those tools and then teaching them to the broader organization and helping them find other use cases for them to use these tools as well. So I am a Swiss Army knife in marketing and also just in supporting my organization as a whole, because AI shouldn't just be for your marketing team or for one team. It should be for everyone across the organization.
That's really interesting, because I can imagine a lot of marketers who are using AI right now and are probably thinking it's on a scale, right? Like, I'm in marketing, I use AI, therefore I'm an AI marketer or an AI marketer. But I think the differentiator here is your focus on exploring those new solutions and the implementation on that and like teaching that back to the org. How do you go about picking the projects that you are going to work on to optimize for AI flows or integration? Is there a way that you pick and choose there?
Yeah, so great question. I feel like we're as a company, we're in the middle of doing this whole thing, and we constantly are innovating and we're constantly iterating on how to go about this process, because at the end of the day, how do you quantify how much impact AI is having on your workflow and whatever you're trying to work out, right? And it goes back to, well, where are you spending the majority of your time? Which projects currently are slated every week for you that are taking you X number of hours that you can then quantify and find ways to implement new tools in those processes to speed them up and help you do more, right? So on the marketing team, we meet daily, truthfully, and we have a daily stand-up where we check in with each other to see where projects are at and if we need support from one another. But it's also a place where we share hey, did you see this? Or if there is a Slack message from the night before where there's a new AI update, we talk about it the next morning, right? So it's not just me who's trying to stay on the pulse of AI, it's my team as a whole. And then we're what happens is we find something really cool and I'm the one who's tasked to go explore it and to find other ways to use it. We're currently in the process of looking at a go-to-market AI platform. And I knew about this platform 6 months ago, but I didn't think it was anywhere near ready for us to look at, to explore. I didn't think the use cases were expandable enough beyond specific marketing tasks. And now that tool has rebranded as this go-to-market AI platform. And now it's not just marketing. It's there are workflows in there for sales. There are workflows in there for my customer success team. And so it's thinking through the process of, well, what are we trying to accomplish? What currently exists? What are the current processes that we're working through with this? Are there tools out there that can help us fulfill one of those areas in that process? And if there are, does that tool also benefit other teams beyond marketing? So that's really kind of the process I go through in thinking about these tools is, okay, it works for marketing. Cool. What else in marketing? Awesome. That could probably be applicable to 3 other teams. Does it actually work? Go test it out. And then I find some people from other teams to be my testers. I'm like, hey guys, I found this really cool tool. I would love to get your impression. What do you think about this use case in it that I found? Are you willing to go test this out and see if there's anything else worthwhile in here? Because I'm not a salesperson. I'm not an account manager. So I'm not 100% sure on what exactly they're trying to do more efficiently or do more of, So it's really starting from marketing. Where else can we expand here? And what other use cases are there available? And we're kind of feeling that right now with ChatGPT, because I've been using ChatGPT in marketing for the past year. almost, year plus. And since I started, it's been, okay, what are these new updates? How can we use them in marketing? Okay, can we go teach them to everyone else and then find other use cases that way?
How long is the timeline that you give for yourself or your team in terms of experimentation? So you got the new tool, you got an idea. Hey, do you want to run this through a few of your workflows? Is there some kind of qualitative or quantitative metric that you assign to these experiments, or is it more like anecdotal? Hey, yeah, I'll implement that. Like, how does that all work?
That's a great question. I think it really is like it's a touch and go process because, as you know, it's hard to get salespeople on board to try something new. Like, I feel like traditionally salespeople know what works in their processes and what has worked with them in the past. So they're trying to implement more of that. And bringing up a new tool, a new anything can be kind of scary to them because it's not just a matter of now I have to learn this tool. It's a matter of I have to learn this tool and find a way to fit it into the process that I have. How do I do that? Right. So I've had success in being very direct and like, hey, I want you to go try this tool for this specific reason. Go do this. Here's a video of me giving you a walkthrough. I would love you to try it. And even if I give everything that you would need to like try something, I still don't get people to give me the feedback that I want, right?
Yeah.
So it really depends on like, how am I selling this tool to my team to help enable them more, right? And it's always a matter of, hey, I found this cool tool that I think can do XYZ for you. Can you go try it out if you have the time this week, right? So, and I'm also asking more than one person. I'm not trying to like stick it on one individual because then like only their feedback isn't going to give me enough of what I need to actually present this to the team as a whole. But I really try to start with like one or two people and then bring it to everyone else and get opinions there in order to actually drive adoption with not just the tool in the end, but with like the curiosity about it, right? It's kind of how I went about, it's kind of how I went about like implementing Letter Drop actually on my team. Like I found the tool and I was like, okay, that'd be really cool. I'll try it on like a free account. And then like I continued using it and I brought it to my team, to my manager actually directly. And I was like, hey, I found this cool tool. What do you think? Like, can I show you what it is? And she was like, yeah, let's walk through it together. I showed her the tool and she was like, that's cool. I can think of 3 other use cases for it, or like, these are things that I hadn't considered because I'm thinking of one specific use case for a tool, right? And so then I bring someone else to the mix and they're like, oh, well, what if we used it for this other reason and this other thing? And from there, we start to think about, well, how else could we use it across marketing? And you just start to drive the curiosity and the desire to adopt it. And now we're users of Letter Drop, right? If I can do that with more tools, then I'm building out a quality tech stack that is actually serving us and, drive what we need.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. What was it, just out of curiosity, what was the task or workflow that triggered you to try Letter Drop? What were you trying to solve there? I don't know if I've ever asked you this.
That was a while ago. I think so like last July, what I was trying to do was build out a tech stack that was going to help me create a repeatable content workflow. So I had an idea to like, what is the best way to create a repurposing engine while also using AI and trying to do more SEO with video. Okay. So my mind went to, well, I can just do a bunch of videos and then I can repurpose the videos into blogs, snippets, you name it. And then I can optimize that content for SEO and kind of go from there and continue to like build out content clusters. That was really the idea behind using AI. And then from there, I was using a couple other tools that were like single use tools. And what I wanted was a platform that connected more than one thing. Like that's the other thing that I look at when I'm trying to find an AI tool to use is, can this do more than one thing for me? Like, I feel like a year ago, we were seeing a bunch of AI tools that like did one-off tasks. And now you're seeing those tools grow into, no, we offer a platform that does 50 different things for you, right? So I wanted to replace the tool that I was using that only did one job for me with something that could do more while also being an AI first product. That was kind of the whole reason I found Letterdrop. And then I was able to do that. Like now I have a tool that I can use for repurposing, but that I can also use for optimizing content. I can use it for optimizing links in like internally and that kind of thing. So it's not just the one task. I've been able to like replace 3 tools with Letterdrop and that kind of thing.
Yeah, that's amazing. I struggle like mentally. I think I get really frustrated when I have to jump between all of these AI tools. Like when you go to YouTube is the worst for this because it'll be like, hey, here's how you do X. And when you go and watch this like marketing video, this YouTuber video, there's like 7 different tools and you've got to like pull it from this one app and it goes to go through here, then you process it over there, then you got to come back over here, then you got to chop it up and then you finally get this result. I wish there was just a seamless way to do some of these things. One thing I've been experimenting with at the moment on my MacBook is an app or a tool called Pinocchio, and it just allows me to install all of these, basically what I would need to use like GitHub and my own kind of self-installs previously. It just creates shells and I'm able to install all these apps. And that has been really fun to do and just try all of these very, very bespoke, cutting edge AI tools just to see what's going on under the hood here before they get to the wrapper stage, Ruth. Like once someone has like plastered a wrapper on it and is charging like, $20 a month to use, I'm getting it straight from the repositories where they're getting like built and kind of open sourced or just put out there. And that has been really fun for me to explore. There's like some like face swapping like engines. There's like a bunch of image generation stuff that is just like so much more unique and different than what we have available, through the apps and stuff now. So I guess my question then behind that is, how much of your time goes into exploring and wanting to test all of these new AI tools? And where do you draw the limit? And I guess I'm asking, this is projecting, like for me, I would spend all day, every day doing this. Like if I could just be this AI like app researcher guy, my gosh, I would die happy. So like, where do you draw the limit? Like, how do you scope out your time there?
Well, I mean, first, why are we looking into AI in the first place? Like, what are we trying to accomplish, right? Like, you have to have a purpose behind looking for a new tool and trying to fix a process that you're currently working on. And it's either that you want to be more efficient, right? You want to do something faster, or you want to do more of something, or you want to free up time to be able to do something else that you haven't been able to do, right? So it's either a bandwidth problem, it's a scaling issue, or it's just like what can we do here to do faster? Like, what is the purpose? And so at the end of the day, we have team goals and KPIs that we're trying to reach. And if my goal is to build pipeline, how can I support my team in doing that with better processes, not necessarily individual tools, right? Because it's not a matter of, hey, can you use ChatGPT to create more emails? It's a matter of, do you know how to tie ChatGPT into your current process so that you can go through that process faster? Right?
Yeah.
So I kind of like going back to the whole, like, how much time am I spending on this, and how much time and what am I trying to get out of it? How can we make the math so that we're making the most of our time in order to have more free time to do more things. I work on a really lean team, as I'm sure you do, Paul.
Yeah.
I'm a team of 5, and I am supporting. I basically I run a content marketing strategy with the support of my demand gen manager and my growth marketing manager. So I think director of growth actually. So she is supporting technical SEO growth on that side, as well as like website technicality things. And then my demand gen manager, she is working on the campaigns and all of that stuff. So then how do I support content for all of those initiatives in order to help us do more of them? Right? Or is the initiative the initiative that we're focused on this month to support our reps in doing more of XYZ for them? Then how can I find ways to use the current tools that we have access to help them do more of that? Oh, we can't. There's a limit in what we can do with the tools we have. What else is available? Right? That's what drives the need to find something else is, what are we trying to accomplish? Do we have something right now that can help us accomplish that? Is there anything that we've looked at over the past 6 months that we are aware of that today can help us accomplish that? Yeah. Or is there an AI tool out there that is trying to do that for you? That's kind of like, those are kind of like the steps I go through in my head, right? Of, can we do this? No. Is there a tool that can help us do that? Maybe, but we would probably take a lot of building and connecting. Is that worth the effort to help us do this? Maybe. Do you build it? That's where you go. Like, do you build it, or do you go find a tool that already is trying to do that for you?
Yeah, I see. You mentioned SEO there. What are your thoughts on SEO and AI and these AI overviews? Are you and the team thinking about SEO differently? Are you mixing up your strategy there? Like, how are you approaching your kind of overall strategy there?
I'm not changing how I'm approaching content or how I'm approaching our SEO strategy, because at the end of the day, you should be creating content that actually serves your customers and your audience and exactly what they want to hear from you, right? Like, how can we connect to their pain points and actually answer the questions that they truthfully care about? What are they trying to improve and that kind of thing? Early in my career, I was an SEO writer that I was literally working off of, like, here's a dashboard with all of our keywords that we're ranking for. If any of these rankings drop, you write a blog. Okay, that is
what a nightmare.
That's a great strategy if you're a marketing team in 2010, maybe. Like, today, you can't just stuff keywords into blogs and think that that's going to support your SEO strategy, right? Like, today, we have to be thinking about the entire wheelhouse of content of how, like, what is the starting point of what I am creating and who is it for? And that's why, like, my mind goes to video. Like, how can I create content for my audience through video that is answering the questions that they care about and the things that they are trying to change and improve for themselves, that speaks to, I don't know, their pain points that they aren't aware of, and how can I do more of that? And and for me, it's usually, well, speak to the experts that you have access to, right? Speak to your customer and get their insights on how things are working for them, and then take that and turn it into something else. So really, like, let's focus on creating video that speaks to our audience, because then we don't have to write anything besides outlines. And if we do that, then we have an engine we can repurpose through to create more content that speaks to our audience. And then all you have to do is optimize for SEO, in my opinion, which makes it sound so easy. It's easier said than done. But, like, it really is a strategy that you're trying to work through in order to optimize everything you're creating, and not just thinking of content as its own, as its own, you know?
Yeah. You mentioned easier said than done. I want to see if we can kind of challenge that a little bit, because if there's like a marketer listening or watching going, yeah, I know we need to do more videos, sounds all great, but like, it just feels daunting or overwhelming. Do you have any insight, any supportive, helpful information that could guide them on, you know, what you've seen to be successful and how you're doing it, or the tooling that you're using and just how you approach it that might help them get started and stay consistent there? Because, hey, you're preaching to the choir. I'm all for video. Like, you and I are on the same page here, but I know a lot of others are just like very overwhelmed by it.
So it is very overwhelming. It's scary to be on video. It is, like, it's frightening to think about the entire process and how, like, oh, you have to record yourself, or you have to record someone, and then you have to edit it, make them sound nice, go through all of that. That is daunting. I completely understand that. I think if you are skeptical about video or getting started with video, start with audio, right? Like, you still have to record something. Why not get your voices out there and then turn your voices into written content so that you then don't have to start from scratch with writing 1,000 words that you then turn into a video, right? If that's kind of the engine that you're trying to work through. But if you, this is also just advice of like, if you don't have anyone who is willing to be on video, just start recording some audio, cut that into snippets, include that as insights into your content. Start to plug those things into the existing material that you have, because then you're not only writing the stuff, you're also showing that like, hey, I have an expert here who is speaking to this topic as well. And that also makes it easier to like do a bunch more social content too. Now you have audiograms that you can plug and play with everywhere. And you don't really have to worry about, oh, is this video going to be up to par with all these super nice produced videos I see? The other thing, like if you do want to start with video and you're just like, I don't want to cut up my Zoom recordings, don't cut up your Zoom recordings. Use tools like one of my favorite tools to use for video is Descript. You can like record things in there, screen record, you can edit based off of transcript, you can then repurpose that into something else. You can I know you can also use Letterdrop for video repurposing, so like that's a process you can go through. Like as long as you have someone speaking, I think you can go forward with any kind of audio and then turn that into something else. And if you have a video of someone, you don't want to show their face, just turn that into an audiogram. And oh, that person doesn't want their voice out there either, use that as a quote, right? Just like go through each medium to meet whatever need you're trying to fulfill. And also like keep yourself on the edge of that fear that you might have towards creating the video.
Yeah, we're huge fans of Descript here, that customers of ours, and we use it like internally. The way that I think about it, just having access to both tools, like dog fooding my own process here, is with Descript, I will generally rely on that if I'm doing like big transcript heavy like cuts, when I want to like chop and change things around or find like the right like moments or seeds in there. I'll use Descript for that, and then I'll usually output my kind of portrait or square kind of videos, and it'll chuck the captions on. I throw a logo on there. What I use Letterdrop for is when I, like you said about the expert interviews, like whenever we need something in a blog post, we will just send out the expert prompts and let them record their answer. Comes back already captioned and has the logo, but it's different to what I want it for the Descripts. Like that is to answer like this really specific question for this one blog post kind of thing. So they kind of sit in different buckets for me. I think Descript is more for big long form interviews that I chop up and I want to see the thing. Letterdrop, the repurposing, or at least the way that I use it is, when I just want an answer to a question from an expert, like Pathy or, someone external, and they send that back through, and it just like whacks it onto YouTube, puts it in the blog post, and that's like half my job done, and Keelan, she uses it all the time, our content marketer. But I remember, Ruth, my gosh, like 4 years ago, like that was a massive undertaking. It was like Final Cut Pro, like getting the captions on like word for word, and then like exporting it, uploading it to YouTube, trying to like embed it with the custom like HTML code into the blog. My gosh, what a nightmare. Kids these days don't know how hard it was, That's what I'm thinking.
I think that's also like a reason people are hesitant to use AI tools for video is like, well, I've heard the process is really, really tedious and there's probably going to be something that I still have to do manually. No, no, there isn't. Because even if you have to do it manually, you can use ChatGPT or Claude to help you do that process faster and then plug it back into somewhere else. Like my favorite flow with those tools is like, we'll have a pre-recorded video that I'll put into Descript, use the transcript to edit, and then create a bunch of clips for. And then in Letterdrop, I am building out the blog, and then I'm plugging those clips into the blog in Letterdrop, and then using the platform to find other internal links and suggestions for other things to include in the content. So then I have better chances at ranking something, I hadn't published before. Or if I have an existing piece of content that's already in Letterdrop, and I just recorded a SME interview with someone who gave me a bunch of great insights related to, this other blog I have, I will try to connect things in the platform there and then optimize further with that existing piece of content.
I like that. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, I can see that working. I also like in the being able to dog food, again, my own product here, but I love being able just to pop in the video and then it writes a post based on one of our templates. Like that has saved me so many hours of going to find the nugget in the video, trying to reword it for LinkedIn, whatever. Just being able to copy and paste it in there has been a game changer. I never thought I was lazy, but I do like taking shortcuts with AI. Like I need to reframe what this terminology is called. Maybe I'm efficient. Let's call it that. Yeah, it's not lazy, it's efficient.
Exactly. Like you don't say you're lazy if you're using automations, do you?
No, yeah, you're right. Yeah.
Like it's finding ways to be efficient and finding ways to plug these tools into the processes that we're already so familiar with. Like I like to compare it to like trying to find a better way to do Google search. Or finding out how to use advanced search in Google, right? Like there's all these things you can change. And once you know what all of those things are that you can change, then your search processes are going to be so much better, right? So if we can find out how all the things within the AI tools work, then where else can we plug them in and kind of just like build there? I also realized that AI for search has changed tremendously, so I don't know if my analogy is super great anymore.
I'll take it. I mean, so leave it in. This is great. One final question for you, a little thought exercise here. Knowing what you know about all the AI tools that are out there, what is a tool that doesn't exist yet or that might be getting built that you know of that you really want to come to market to solve a particular problem? So it's this hypothetical AI-infused tool that it is going to do something that you really need it to do or need it to solve. So it's going to solve a particular problem in marketing. What is the tool that doesn't exist yet that you want?
So right now, I think one of the things that we hate to do as marketers is build our own dashboards to understand our data. Can we find an AI tool that just connects all of the dashboards from everything we use? And then we can just prompt it to interpret the data into something else and connect the dots between my social analytics and my pipeline analytics and Google Analytics. I want that. I don't think that exists.
And imagine then being able just to chat with it too and just like having like a 15-minute stand-up, audio stand-up. So you're just like talking to Jarvis, be like, hey, how's the dashboard? How are metrics looking today? Oh, you had a post that went like viral here. I think it was because of this hook. So I've gone and created some more content for you. It's in the hopper, ready for you to approve. Oh, honestly,
like I feel like what I'm trying to do is how can I interpret my customer data and like my product data and connect that with whatever I'm trying to do in the SEO area. Like how can we connect those dots to create more specifically tailored content to those audiences I care about? Like that would be a dream. So if anyone's building that,
Yeah, I like that. So like you're saying like once once the customers are in your product and using your product, being able then to pull out insights from that to influence like the SEO and like customer education stuff kind of thing. That's the piece. Interesting.
So like one thing that we do at Tomorrow is like we have our customers are using tomorrow.io in order to figure out how weather affects their operations, right? So you can imagine that they have all of these alerts about the weather going off in their platforms related to each alert or like each operation disruption that they care about, right? Like, is it going to rain today? And if it's going to rain today, what time is it going to rain? And how is that going to influence my operations? Like, so we take that data and we turn that into business insight reports because we understand how weather broadly is affecting these industries as a whole. So we can garner insights from there. I want to be able to do more of that more efficiently because right now it is all pretty manual and like I can interpret data and try to create things with ChatGPT, for example, like just in terms of like here, like make a graph with this data kind of thing. But what's hard to do is doing that super fast and doing that more efficiently. Like if there was a platform out there that could connect everything for me and then help do more insights for my content, then I'm killing four birds with one stone, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, right. Oh my gosh. This is I want to come back to this recording in like 2 years time, or like 18 months time, when the tool has like
When it's not.
IPO'd from like 6 months. Like it's just like now it's like, hey, we've come to take over HubSpot. We're the AI version of HubSpot, and it's just going to eat everything. Well, this was so much fun. And I said to you offline, we could just talk for hours and hours and hours, but we will come back for a round 2 or 3 or 7 after this. I appreciate you so much and your insight. Thank you for sharing a little bit about your kind of workflow and the way you're thinking about AI and marketing. I think you are, especially just with your content that you post too, like it's so much fun reading your stuff and your perspectives. So I very much enjoy it. And if anyone's watching it and you're not already following Ruth, like go check her out. It's a fantastic person to have on your LinkedIn. And yeah, thanks, Ruth. I really appreciate it.
Thank you so much, Paul. This has been fun. I'm sure we will have more to talk about in the future as things continue to evolve. But yeah, I agree. We'll have to revisit the conversation. Just the point of, is there a tool out there that can do this now, or are we getting close? You know?
Yeah.
But we'll.
Sounds good. Sounds good. All right. I'll chat to you soon. Bye.
Thanks, guys.